Yeah, absolutely. And you go out to dinner and you see couples sitting at a table and they're not talking to each
Having
other,
dates
right?
with their phones.
They're sending each other reels on Instagram while they're sitting across the table from one another. And so
welcome to Steps to the Stage, a 7th Street Community Theater podcast.
Hey, theater friends, welcome to Steps to the Stage, where we talk to the community theater professionals you know and love. My name is Kirk Lane, and I'm going to be your host today. We're really excited because our Theater on the Edge Festival is back this year. We're going to have 2 productions this year as opposed to 3 that we normally have, but we'll get into that a little bit. Right now, today, we're really excited. We're going to be talking about The Dead Man's Cell Phone, which is a production that first premiered in Washington, D.C. Back in June of 2007. It is written by Sarah Ruhl, and we're going to learn a little bit more because today we have Melissa Bassard, our director. We also have Lori Deards, and we have Mark Agars. Did I pronounce your last name right?
Agars.
Agars. It's a good thing I've only known you for about 3 or 4 years. All right. And then I have a new friend, Saverio Guccione, who we just met today, and this is his first time on the podcast, and we're so excited to have him on. Welcome.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to read this little thing that says, Dead Man's Cell Phone is a play by Sarah Ruhl. It explores the paradox of modern technology's ability to both unite and isolate people in the digital age. Melissa.
I am so excited to be directing this piece. I love the way that Sarah Ruhl writes about connection through disconnection. And that's what we're going to experience through most of this experience with this play. It's written in a way that is very disconnected, and it's disconnected as a result of the way that we have started to connect with technology. Ruhl wrote it, and it was performed first in 2007. And if you think back to what was happening technology-wise at that time, we were just starting to graduate from our flip phones and get into these iPhones and these smarter devices that, you know, in a way made it feel like it was easier to connect to the people that we knew. I remember 2007, 2008, starting my first Facebook account. And I was so thrilled that I could connect with people that I had gone to college with and had lost connection with. And I thought, oh gosh, what a tool that has been introduced to us that's going to make it so much easier to connect. But I think looking at it now, almost 20 years later, and looking at the way that society has used technology and these devices to connect, we can very clearly see that it has caused a disconnect in the human experience, in making eye contact, in writing things down on paper, and things like that.
In figuring out where you're driving.
Figuring out where you're driving.
Your home that you've been to maybe a couple of times, but you're still pulling out your phone and you're saying it's, because I want to check traffic. And
yeah, absolutely. And you go out to dinner and you see couples sitting at a table and they're not talking to each
having
other,
dates
right?
with their phones.
They're sending each other reels on Instagram while they're sitting across the table from one another. And so this script really gives us an opportunity to explore that disconnection that has happened in the electronic world and really look at how we as a society, as humanity, can connect with one another despite all of the noise, despite all of the glitch, despite all of the technology that's around us.
Yes. In a very unique time as well.
Absolutely.
Where that information isn't necessarily as vetted as well as it should be. And, we're not only worrying about our own consumption, but we're worrying about our friends and families and kids and things of that nature. And it's such a conundrum we are in. But the good thing is right now, the 5 of us are sitting down looking at each other as I was taking pictures and video for our social media accounts. But we have those connections, and we have friends that we've known each other for a while and just recently, but have got to know each other. And, we break bread on some Saturday mornings and get to experience that. And then a brand new friend here, and we're talking about this experience. Well, I'm glad that You have a great perspective of this, which I think is helpful for the director to be able to lead its cast and the audience along this journey for what we love every year, having these festivals and really trying different themes and different things that don't normally get on our stage. So, Lori, goodness gracious, it's so amazing to see your smiling face. And I would just love to hear about your journey through Dead Man's Cell Phone.
Hi, Kirk. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to see your smiling face. It's been a little too long.
Been too long.
Yeah, I agree. Hi, my name is Lori Deards, and I played Jean in Dead Man's Cell Phone. At the start of the play, Jean is sitting in a cafe writing a thank you note, which nobody but me knows because it's entirely in my head. The man at the table next to her has quietly passed away. His phone rings, and she chooses to answer it. And the rest of the play is just kind of a journey through her trying to figure out how to help connect him better to his family and friends and preserve his memory in a particular way. And it takes that idea of connection beyond, I think, just the phone and into the idea of like, how do we allow technology to alter our ideas about ourselves? How does that help us document, preserve, or maybe modify our belief systems? How close does it let us get to our core values, to the people around us, but also to the possibilities around us, and what level of permanence exists in all of that? So it's been a really interesting journey for me because I love the way that Sarah Ruhl wrote this piece. It is on the surface very disconnected, but there are themes that carry you throughout the story that are really tangible and really relatable and very, very deeply human, which, to Melissa's point about the human experience, it brings you kind of closer to and further from that idea of not just how does technology allow us to connect to each other, but how does it allow us to stay involved in our own lives, our own hearts, and our own minds.
Well, having some history with you and hearing your immediate reflection on it, and having recently really becoming closer with Melissa, I think we're in pretty good hands. I think we're in really good hands. And then I get a little nervous and I look over at my friend Mark and go, see, this is a gentleman that we see on some Saturdays, and we try and, have some discussions, solve some of the world's problems, probably create more problems that are needed. But
certainly.
What I love, Mark is part of this breakfast bunch we'll call them theater dads, theater people. And your journey has been somewhat recent. Last year, I think, might have been one of your first productions.
My very first.
Yeah, and then and some pretty challenging ones, Little Shop of Horrors, and
jumped into a show that was it was a musical, right?
Yeah.
So it was singing, dancing, and learning how to act all at the same time.
Yeah. So tell us about Dead Man's Cell Phone.
Yeah, so this is. I'm really excited for me personally, as you say. This is new. This is my third show, and it's really the first, I guess, character development that I've had to do. So it's exciting. My character is Dwight. He is the brother of the dead man, and we kind of learn about him primarily through his relationship with Jean and sort of how that evolves over the course of the show. And one of the things I really that I find fascinating about we're talking about the connection and disconnection, right? And I think that's clearly a really interesting theme, but it also is about how technology allows us to see different versions of who we are, right? And so how do we sort of understand what's the real version of Dwight? What's the real version of Gordon? What's the real version of Jean, et cetera? And that's what social media has done. And I wonder, 20 years ago, I don't know that Sarah Ruhl would have known quite the path that technology was going to take in terms of giving us a mechanism to show different versions of who we are. But very clearly, that's what I see in some of these character development, and it's fascinating.
And it's got to feel good now, like you're becoming a bit of a you're no longer the rookie, right? and that you're really talking about that character development as opposed to the others. And
100%. No, and I'm so grateful to Melissa and everybody here in the cast who is both patient but also very supportive, and I'm learning.
Well, that's the beauty of community theater, and we do need to be there to lift each other up. And
I have to tell you, this man does not show up like a rookie. He showed up to the audition, and he was Dwight. He just embodied everything that I wanted that character to be, and to connect with these other characters in the way that he does. It just brings magic to the stage. And so I know he's a very humble man, and I know this is a newer experience for him, but he does not show up like a rookie. This man has jumped in and has given his deep, introspective thought and care to this role, and the way that he interacts with these other characters, just, it's magical. I can't wait for you to see your friend on the stage.
Very excited about that. And I know a lot about his character going into this, so none of that is shocking or surprising, and it's an honor to be your friend and an honor to be part of this podcast with you.
See, this is why I just want to keep coming back. I want to put a cot in the back and just live here if I could.
Yeah. There's some amazing connections that are made through this. Severio, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Tell us a little bit about since you're new to Steps to the Stage, is this your first production at Chino? Or
yes, it is.
It is.
Right.
Okay. Well, give us a quick little history, because I always love to have a little bit of a history for new guests, and just because we like to hear about the journey.
I've been acting for a while. I've been acting for about 20 years. I started in middle school. Most of my experience is in Shakespeare. But I think my favorite type of theater to watch is more modern and more experimental types of theater. And so actually the way I found out about Chino was I saw advertisements online for the Three on the Edge Festival last year.
See, the technology brings the opportunity to you, and now you get on the stage and you have to reflect upon that technology. But
and especially at a community theater level, it's very hard to find anyone who's willing to do anything, a little more
experimental on the edge.
Yeah.
I mean, this is our Theater on the Edge, program. And
that was very, very exciting to me. And so I came and I saw Breathing Corpses last year. That's the only one I was able to catch. But I loved that show, and it made me really want to come back here to see more shows and also to audition for the festival. And then, so I was looking for the auditions this year when they came around. And then when I saw Dead Man's Cell Phone, that's also a show that I've wanted to do since that came out.
Yeah.
So the stars all really...
And what is your character?
I'm playing Gordon. I'm the dead man in Dead Man's Cell Phone. So I think these two are the leads, but
now that's an
I
acting
at least
job.
Get to say that I'm the titular character.
Yeah. What are some of the other community theater productions you've done in Southern California, or
mostly in Southern California? Yeah.
Okay.
So after high school, I did a lot in high school, and then after high school, I mostly worked at Shakespeare in the Vines in Temecula. That was where I grew up.
Okay.
I've also worked at Riverside Community Players.
Yeah.
And I've done some other, smaller things here and there. This last year, I played Bottom in Midsummer Night's Dream.
Okay.
In Riverside, and I played Macbeth and Macbeth. If you'll forgive me for, I know we're in the theater.
Twice.
we will all do our penance afterwards.
When you're invoking the name, when you're actually speaking of the play, that's okay, though, right?
I think the rule is you have to be in the production.
Boy.
So I think I messed up.
We'll run around the theater after we're
leave,
done here. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for sharing, albeit whether it was, luck, any luck, good luck, bad luck, all that other good stuff. But thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. And it's important for us to know that you've had a long history, and welcome to 7th Street Theater Stage, and welcome to Chino.
Glad to be here.
And we're glad you're a part of this. Melissa, Mark brought up a great point about when Sarah was writing this and not really knowing what's happened since now and then. So I have to imagine that might have maybe been an impactful thought for you as you go through this, or maybe not at all. Maybe you. I'll be quiet and I'll let you talk.
You know, it was because when approaching this script, I had a choice of whether to approach it from a period of 2007 to 2009 when she was actually creating and workshopping and putting this piece in front of people, or whether I felt like I wanted to bring it to present time. And the more I thought about that, the more I thought about that evolution of technology and to all of their brilliant points, the way we're able to present ourselves in this positive light and nobody ever knows the negative of anything, right? Combined with the way that we think that sending a DM is the same as going out to breakfast and connecting with each other in person. And so I thought it was more relevant to bring it to today and that it would touch more people in that way because they'd be able to more easily connect with it because it's something that we're experiencing right now. And, you know, social media is the great connector and the great disconnector,
Yes.
right? And as we're experiencing things in this world today, I have found as I become more of myself in a social media space, the more some people turn off to that and disconnect and don't want to be connected to my way of thinking and don't, unfriend, uncheck, unfollow, right? And so there's a lot to that I thought was more enough relevant that we needed to present it today. Yeah.
I'd like to hear a little bit more about some of the other characters, Lori, that are here and some of the other cast members.
The other characters and the other cast members?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the other characters in the story are people who were in Gordon's life when he was alive, primarily his family. So Mark mentioned that he's playing Dwight, Gordon's brother, and we also have Samantha Armenta playing Hermia, his wife, and Gordon's wife, not Dwight's wife. It's important to note Dwight is not married.
That hurt a little.
And Gordon's mother, portrayed by the legendary, the iconic, the fantastic Cindy East. Selfishly, I am just absolutely thrilled and a little bit awestruck to find myself standing next to Cindy on a stage because I've known her literally my whole entire life. She loves to tell people stories about like rocking me to sleep backstage when I was a baby and she was doing plays with my parents. And it's been, I don't know how long since I got to be on stage with her. And she's just like tiny and powerful and
such a pillar in our community, not just at this theater, but many other theaters.
Yes.
She directs and acts and
yes.
is living her best life always, and will share with you her experience and feelings.
Yeah.
And she does it in a manner that is honest and real and raw and direct. And, for me, one of the many reasons why, and it sounds like you as well, that we love someone that has done so much in our theater. And that's fantastic.
I'm a director because of Cindy East, because she pulled me in and said, I know you can do this. Come learn with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a force of nature.
Yeah.
And just,
amazing.
Brilliant. And then we also have Sage Patel.
Sage.
Appearing in multiple roles.
Okay.
Yes. She is the other woman and the stranger, who are both also relevant to Gordon's life.
I love that.
Surrounded by greatness, honestly.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Mark, now that you've been in a couple of productions on this theater, why don't you talk a little bit about the set that you guys are utilizing and how that is the same, different, or direction, or?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, because for the festival, it's simplified, right?
Okay.
So there's actually it's a very subtle and simple set, and so it really is about the people, right? And working off of each other.
And coming from the productions that you've been on that are very set heavy and prop heavy.
Yeah, Little Shop was quite a
yeah.
Yes, it was.
Right. Yeah. No, well, I mean, again, all of this is new to me, so I don't know how to separate it all, but I do I do like acting in the open space. Like I think forcing myself to sort of realize.
You understand there's no distractions on stage.
That's right. Yeah,
you are the distraction.
I cannot hide behind a flower pot. Yeah.
Very true.
And it's just a new challenge, but it's fun.
Yeah, and that's the thing too that our audience has to realize is that you're sharing this stage with the other production, so it has to be something that works for both, so that you can tell your stories effectively.
Yeah, we've worked together. Paige Polsine and I, the director of POTUS, have worked together to try as much as possible to streamline what we're using, so that we're not building a lot or having a lot of set that's cumbersome that's going to get in the way of telling our story. So I had a couple of tables built, and Paige is going to use the same tables. You're going to see the same elements used in different ways in both shows, and I think that's always been the intent of the Theater on the Edge Festival. But I think in past years and a couple of past recent years I can think of, it's gone a little bit further than the black box experience. So I'm really excited that this year we've really brought it back to that black box feel. We don't have any flats up, no walls. It's really the black box with a couple of pieces and their magic and their fine work that's going to bring the stage to life. So really excited about that aspect too.
Maybe the common pieces imply that these plays are set in the same universe.
Uh-oh. Look out. Well, let's expand a little bit from this being your first time on our stage and some of the other experiences that you've had. We'd love to hear about how it's been thus far in all aspects.
Other shows that I've done?
Yeah, just coming to a new theater and also coming to a production that is, there is not a big set, and it's about the actor. So just love to hear your experience thus far, and maybe in comparison to the others, not in a better or worse way, just how the experience is different for you.
Well, I've worked at a lot of different theaters, and I think everyone is a little bit different, and so I don't think I felt overly surprised by anything. But there's definitely like a unique feel coming in here. It's kind of hard to put to words, though. It's just a combination of like what this space feels like when you walk into it, the particular people who are here that you get to work with and their personalities. That all kind of builds together into a certain feeling that I can't really communicate to you, but I can say that I'm having a wonderful time and that I love these people.
I think your answer was perfect.
Yeah.
And I did kind of maybe bait you into something, and you handled it marvelously. And of course, we're a little biased, obviously, doing a lot of work here, but it is glad to hear that someone that is essentially from the outside has come in and felt welcome, and that you spoke specifically of the energy of the people. So I think that's great. Lori, yes.
If I could just add to that, Severio has a way of making people feel welcome no matter where they are. And I think I'm pretty sure I met you one of the first times you came to our theater during the Three on the Edge Festival last year. And just like the energy with which you entered the space and, opened yourself up to people and were open to receiving other people's attention and, I don't know, I guess I'd say like connection and maybe even friendship. I've been really lucky in that's the way that it's worked out for me, was really striking. But also when I've seen you in other spaces, you've gone out of your way to make sure that people know that you remember them and that they were important to you. And so getting to see the way that comes to life more steadily and solidly in this space, which I am really emotionally attached to, this theater's home for me, has been really neat. And just like it's a brilliant example of what community is supposed to be and what our little network of community theaters in this area can do for each other, the way that it can connect us.
I think the sign that we have up on the wall, I think really embodies the theater, right? Mm-hmm. It's always welcome back, right? You're always welcome, but welcome back to that. And maybe it is your first time, but welcome back to that time of feeling welcome and feeling part of that. So I appreciate you sharing that with us, and I appreciate you putting the crossing the T and dotting the I on all that, and one of your many wonderful.
Thank you.
I'd also be remiss if I didn't share that Severio is not only playing Gordon in this show, but he's also composed and arranged all original music to pair with the script from Ruhl, and so you will be hearing throughout our entire experience music that has been composed, played, arranged, and created by Saverio. And he called me not maybe 2 days after we cast him in this role, and he said, hey, like after reading the script, I'm so moved, and I pulled out my toys and I'm writing music. Would you be interested? And I was like, are you kidding me? Absolutely. So that's a new experience for me as a director also, to pair with sound design that's all original, that somebody has created from the feelings that were evoked from reading this script. So
the hair on my arm and the goose pimples literally came up as you were sharing that with me.
yeah.
Not only my love for theater, but I'm a musician as well, and actually have a gig tonight. And I heard this, and my whole being just went like, fellow musician. That's fantastic. That's just, and really that's the another beautiful thing about theater, that it can bring out in all of these wonderful skills that we have, right? And as I look at the people in front of me, not only do they act, but they directed, they've stage managed, they've ran the lights, they've ran the sound, they've run the front of house, they've embodied everything that community theater is about. And I think that adds to it. But just knowing that element on this particular production, how special that must be, right? And what a great opportunity for you. And thank you for coming right out and not being shy about it and asking up front. And wow. So if you needed any more reason to go get your tickets and come and see this particular production, that into and of itself should be something that motivates you. Let's talk a little bit more about some of the other, maybe lighting, costuming, and some of the other people involved. We'd love to hear.
Absolutely. Our lighting designer is Kylie Reeves. She's one of the greats here in the booth at Chino. She's actually programming lights right now as we're doing this podcast. They will be run during the show by Nico Egars, so the son of Mark.
Yay.
Another special part of being here.
Not only, do we get to do this thing with Mark, but his son gets to watch him do this thing and be a part of it. Sound design is very much being done by Saverio with a little bit of sound design by Sage. Sage Patel is our projection designer. The amazing projections that you'll see are all designed by her. I'll be running sound, and our stage manager is Paul Saldana. So we have a lot of Chino family involved with this production, and that feels really nice as well.
Yeah, so important. It takes so much. And I know lately we've really been talking about, of course, those that are on stage and the production team, but we've been talking a lot about the house and the wonderful people that run the house and take all the calls and sell the tickets and organize where they're going to be and show up early every production and make sure that, you as the attendee out there can come and have an amazing experience in our wonderful little theater, and that you can come from the outside, just kind of leave everything that's going on outside. You get greeted by a wonderful human that smiles and says welcome, and you have people that will show you your seat and either show you the digital program, or sometimes we have them printed out, and then you get to escape. The lights go down and we get to see this amazing production. Yes, Lori.
I heard you ask Melissa about all of the technical aspects of the production, and you mentioned set, and you mentioned costumes, and in all the credit that I heard her give to other folks, which is well-deserved, I didn't hear her mention herself. And so I just want to flag that that everyone has really pitched in a lot of different ways on this, but Melissa singularly has really stepped up and done a lot of just above and beyond heart first work to make sure that we are able to bring her vision to life, but also that we're able to look and feel like our best selves while doing it. And so the set that you see, the specialty pieces that were made directly from her vision and directly at her request. I have sat on the stage floor with her after rehearsal and watched her stain a table herself. I have tried on costume pieces that she found herself and brought in specifically for me, and I know that I'm not the only one. So I very much appreciate her readiness and willingness to direct you toward the light in others, but I want to make sure and shine it on her as well, because she really has gone so far above and beyond as our director and as a member of this team and the leader of this team to make sure that we look and feel our best, which also leads me to, if I may just acknowledge the fact that Melissa really wanted to make sure that we had the right conditions for this. So another member of our team has been the intimacy and fight director that she brought in to work with us, Wendy. And Melissa made sure to bring somebody in to ensure that those particular moments where we're asked to interact with each other in maybe closer ways than usual, or direct our energy in ways that you don't normally get to with, your friends and members of your creative community on a day-to-day basis, are as carefully thought out as possible, that everyone's clear and sharing language that expresses what's safe for us, what's okay for us, and that we all have the same understanding of what's going to happen in those moments, so that when we get there, we can really focus on telling the story. And so I want to make sure and mention that as well.
That's Wendy Johnson, and she's a member of our theater community as well. She's the director and founder of Full Circle Players, and I'm just so grateful that she volunteered her time to do that, because I feel like it's such an important part of telling a story authentically. When people have to have an intimate moment on stage, whether it's a touch or a kiss, that can get weird, right? And if it gets weird, it interrupts and disrupts the story, and it makes the actors feel uncomfortable, and you lose trust, and you can't make your best art when you're in those conditions. So I'm grateful to Wendy for being willing to volunteer her time and come and work with these guys. It was just the best experience for all of us.
Well, to echo what Lori said, and from the couple of years that I've had the experience of working with you, thank you for just taking that leadership role, because that too, into and of itself, is you're putting yourself out there and you're sacrificing essentially everything else in your life during that time to make sure that you shepherd this cast and crew and the audience through a great story. And then bringing in an intimacy and fight coordinator doesn't always happen. So that shows your care not only for your cast, but it shows the care for the art, and that you, as you just mentioned, if we can feel comfortable in that presentation, then as an audience member, we're going to receive that better. So, it's gratitude everywhere, and that's, I think, which is really important in life and in general. And I think art is gratitude to our souls, in how we are living our lives. And so I am so thankful that we get this opportunity to talk. It's been such a pleasure to talk with all of you again and for the first time. And I'm so excited to talk about Dead Man's Cell Phone that will be appearing on our stage. And I'm going to need a little direction here, because our dates are May 15th through the 31st, Friday and Saturday evenings at 7:30, Saturday and Sunday matinees 2:30. Which days are you guys? It's on the other side, and sometimes you just got to be smarter than the paperwork that is there. But then also you have to read the little small print that says May 15th, 23rd, 29th at 7:30 p.m. and May 16th, 24th, 30th at 2:30 p.m. And tickets are available now. You can get them at the box office. You can call 909-590-1149, or of course you can go to our website and you can access tickets through there. But most importantly, get your tickets and come out and see this production and give this cast and crew that audience for them to share this amazing story with you. So
buy the festival pass. You get a discount if you come to see both shows. So please come out to see Dead Man's Cell Phone, but buy your festival pass so that you can also see POTUS.
And it's really helpful to the theater if you bring cash instead of paying online.
Ah, look at that. But we'll figure out how to, acquire your money so that we could use it to pay for all the nice things that we have to pay for. So thank you so much, you guys. I'm really looking forward to this and appreciate your time, not only here today, but obviously taking time out of your lives to be able to present this art to us.
Thank you so much for what you do, and thank you for giving us a voice out there so that people can know what we're doing, Kirk. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kirk.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Steps to the Stage, a 7th Street Community Theater podcast. Follow us on your favorite podcast platform and leave us a review and a 5-star rating. It really helps. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Special thanks to Chino Community Theater and Chino Community Children's Theater for their generous support. And very special thank you to the listeners. Steps to the Stage was created by Joey Rice and Kirk Lane. Logo created by Marley Lane. Original music by Joey Rice. Your host, Kirk Lane. Engineer and producer, Joey Rice. Engineer and executive producer, Kirk Lane.